Hey everybody, I'm Wes Barker. Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about cons. As a magician, I am fascinated by cons. The secrecy, misdirection, the cleverness, sometimes sleight of hand, the boldness. I love it. I'm a big time fan. And today we're going to specifically talk about 6 of my favorite short cons. Now there are short cons, long cons, some in the middle. A short con is by definition something that is very short. A long con would be maybe trying to get somebody's inheritance or insurance fraud or convincing someone to invest in some fake hedge fund for large sums of money type of thing. Months, years in the making sometimes. A short con happens on the street in minutes, and here are 6 my absolute favorites. So let's start with one you'll know. Probably don't know that you know, but it was heavily featured in the movie Zombieland. This one is called the ring reward, or also known as like the violin scam. And they did a great job on this one. So what happens is basically this. Usually a woman, a well-dressed woman, this is key, looking like she might have some money or something, you know, well off. Now she's on the ground looking for her ring, okay? The guy at the gas station, or wherever this is taking place, the guy that works there, he comes out and he sees her looking around and says, what are you doing? She's like, oh, and she's freaked out. I've lost my engagement ring. I can't find it. I took it off for a second and then I dropped it. I don't know where it is. I have to go. I'm late for a very important meeting. I got to close some business deal or whatever. I got to go catch a flight. I have to leave, right? But I've lost this ring. The guy there wanting to help her. I'll look for it. I'll help you find it. I'll look for it. Give me your phone number. I'll look for it. Okay, if you find it, I'll give you a reward. This is key. I'll give you a reward. The ring's worth more than my car. I'll pay you $3,000 if you find it and give it back to me, okay? It's worth so much more than that, but please, I have to go. Please find it, blah, blah, blah. Guy says, sure, what a great deal. Takes her number down, and he says, oh, okay, I'll keep looking. He looks for a while, can't find it, but he's gonna keep looking throughout the day, but he's still gotta do his job at the gas station. So he's back inside doing his job, keeping an eye out for this ring, obviously. Looks out the window and sees somebody has found a ring. What goes out and says, hey, you found my ring? What do you mean your ring? I just found this. Well, it's my friend's ring. I got to give it back to her. Oh, do I get a reward? Sure, I'll give you a reward for finding this. And, you know, coughs up however much money he's got, $100, $500. He doesn't really care because he knows once he gets the ring, he's going to get a $3,000 reward. So as long as he's paying out less than $3,000, he still stands to make money on the other end, no matter what. Even if it costs him $2,000, right, up front, he could still make $1,000 in the back end returning this thing because he believed this lady at the beginning. As you might have already guessed, it takes 2 people to pull this off, right? One person has to go and be the convincing person in distress that has lost this ring, and they have to be convincing that they have a substantial amount of money to give for a reward. And that's why an engagement ring works really well. Normally they're very expensive, and they also carry a lot of sentimental value, so it is believable that someone would pay thousands of dollars to get their ring back. Your accomplice comes in later with the fake cheap costume jewelry, cost you $5, fake diamond ring. They come in and just pretend to pick it up off the ground. Oh, look at this ring I found, right? Wow, look at that, and really, you know, making a show of it so the guy notices as soon as they come out. Now you're just trying to see how much money you can get for a reward. It all makes sense, and like I said, the movie covered it very well. So I just wanted to start with one that everyone probably has seen before, so you get a really good idea of how these scams can work and how you might fall for it. Like, honestly, we all might fall for this. It's pretty convincing, you know? And if Emma Stone told me she lost a ring and said she was gonna give me $3,000 if I returned it to her, I'd believe her. I'd believe her. Who wouldn't believe Emma Stone? So this one is one of my favorites. This one is very quick, very common, can be applied to a lot of things, but it's called the melon drop. And the reason it's called the melon drop is because it used to be to target Japanese tourists, right? Because historically, fruit in Japan was very expensive. Like, there's legit a time where they would pay $50 to $100 for a watermelon in Japan. Okay, that's just the price of a watermelon in Japan. It's just a crazy luxury item that they can't get there. Well, when you're in the US, a watermelon would cost you only a couple dollars. So that's what these con men would do. They would buy a nice looking watermelon for a couple bucks, and they carried it around with them looking for their mark, and as soon as they saw a Japanese tourist, they'd walk up and they'd position themselves in a way that they're gonna accidentally bump into this person but make it seem like it's their fault. So you wait till they're reading their map or looking down or whatever, or walking and being a crazy tourist with their camera or whatever, and you bump into them, you drop your watermelon, it smashed into a million pieces, and you make them feel bad. It's all their fault, right? You're talking fast, you're very angry, it's all, they're idiots, yeah, they knocked it out of your hand, they owe you $50, $100 for this watermelon. And because a Japanese tourist at the time would know the price of a watermelon back home, and they might not know the price of a watermelon here in America, they would cough up as much money feeling very bad and wanting to make it right. It's playing on that expectation of not knowing the price of goods in a new country that you're visiting, or this honor and respect and making them feel guilty, right? So that you're playing on a lot of things there. And again, it might not work. They might be from there or have just bought a watermelon for $3 around the corner. They might know, and they might tell you to piss off. Who cares? Just go buy another watermelon, try it again. Because if it works 1 out of 10 times, you're still making crazy money. There's really literally no risk. That's why it's very common. So now it doesn't really happen with watermelons anymore, but now it happens with laptops, iPads, phones, right? Anything expensive but breakable, if you drop it, people are still pulling this off on tourists all over the world. If it's done convincingly, it's very hard not to want to pay money, because I mean, we've all had our heads down texting, and you might honestly knock into someone and make them drop their iPad and break it. And that could actually happen. So how to decipher between that and a scam is, I mean, I don't know. If it's done well, you would feel like you owed them some money. It's genius. And I'd say if someone's doing it with a phone or a laptop or something, I mean, that's a high ticket item. So odds are it didn't work before, or it's fake, or it was already broken or something. You know what I mean? They're not gonna buy a new laptop and risk that. So if this does happen to you, really inspect the thing that dropped and see how beat up it is. If it's really beat up, it's probably been used on this con several times. Just a little piece of advice. Good luck out there on that one. This one is tricky, the melon drop. All right, here's another beauty. This one's called the false good Samaritan. And this one plays on our compassion for people like most cons do. And that's what these con artists are doing. They are literally banking on the fact that you're a good person and you want to do the right thing. And unfortunately, that's what we're all trying to be, and that's what some people are exploiting. So this one's rough. So you got to create a situation in which you need someone's help, okay? So let's use an example of a flat tire. Right? So there's a woman that's standing out in the cold, holding a tire iron with a flat tire, and she's got her spare, and she doesn't know how to do it. She flags someone down in their car, right? They pull their car over, and she says, "Do you know how to change a tire?" And they're like, "Yeah, I do." And she's like, "Oh my God, I don't know how to do this. I've never done it. I don't know what happened, right? Can you please help me change this tire?" Okay? Now, this is key, that she's frantic and helpless, right? Like the old damsel in distress type thing. I mean, if people play into that hard, and she says, "I've been out here forever, I'm freezing cold, can I sit in your car and warm up?" Again, if this is done well, who's gonna say no to that? It's like, sure, yeah, sit in the car, warm up, and I'll be here by your car and putting on this tire for you, no problem. You look cold, get in there, no big deal. But as soon as your back is turned and you're tightening on that tire, they take off in your car. They drive away. How are you gonna catch them? You can't catch them. You can't catch them. And that's, I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Now you might be thinking to yourself, but like, their car's sitting right there. That's the beauty of this con. It's not their car. You can do this in a parking lot, okay? You go find a car that's been parked in the parking lot, and all you do is you bring your tire iron, your jack, and your spare tire, right? You can buy them all super cheap, and you bring them with you, and you set them up next to the car, and then you go and you let the air out of that parked car. Just pick a tire and and let the air out of the tire. And now you have a perfectly flat tire, and what looks to be all of the stuff from your trunk that's gonna help fix this tire. All you gotta do is hope that the owner of that car doesn't come back right away. And that's the only thing that can really go wrong here. Other than that, you're acting, you're playing into it, you're asking for help, and people wanna help people. Man, do people wanna help people. Is it really gonna happen to you? Probably not. Best thing to do is probably just change the tire with someone and be a good person, because they're probably not trying to con you, but it can happen. The false good Samaritan. This one is called the wallet drop. And now I have some personal experience with this one. This happened to me when I was in Paris. First time ever in Paris, traveling by myself, and a very similar con happened to me. I'll tell you that in a second. Firstly, the wallet drop goes like this. There is a wallet full of money or something valuable, but let's just use a wallet full of money for this example, clearly on the ground, just randomly for anyone to see. And you see this wallet full of money, and so does somebody else, and they come by and they scoop it up in front of you, and like, holy crap, look at all this money. And it's like, hey, you saw it the same time I did, you want to split it. That's what the other passerby says. And you're like, okay, I guess. And they take half the money out for themselves, put it in their pocket, hand you the rest of the wallet, and walk off. And as they walk away, someone else comes running up saying, I've lost my wallet, I've lost my wallet. And then you're standing there holding this wallet, and they go, oh, you found it, great, thank you. And they grab the wallet, and they look at it to count the money, and half of the money's gone. So they're accusing you of stealing half the money, and you're trying to say, oh no, it was somebody else, like they were another person here, they took your money, I just found the wallet, and you're trying to explain what's happened, and it doesn't sound believable, it sounds ridiculous. So they're asking you to cough up more money. Oh, you pay right now, give me all the money you have in your wallet, give me all your money, that kind of thing. Now again, this works so well on tourists, especially in a country where you probably don't speak the language, right? Because now you really can't explain yourself. You just feeling accused and you're scared of the situation, and they've either got the authorities involved or they're saying they're going to get the authorities involved. Either way, you're freaking out, especially in an unfamiliar country and that you don't speak language in. It's really scary, so you just cough up your money because you just want to get out of the situation now. And now this one, the more aggressive the con artist is, the more pressure it puts on you as the guy getting conned, as the mark, and you do feel compelled just to cough up whatever you have to try and make the situation better and go away. So this actually happened to me when I was 25 in Paris traveling by myself. There's a ring on the ground, and this guy comes in front of me, and he sees the ring, he's like, wow, look at this ring, oh, it's very nice ring. I know these rings are worth like 300 euros or whatever. Maybe you give me half, like you give me like 100 euros and I'll give you the ring, and then you can go just sell it down at the pawn shop or whatever, right? He's like, oh, you can go sell it, and maybe you give me 100 euros and then we'll split it. You know, you give me 100 euros, you have the ring, no problem, right? And I was like, no, man, I'm good. I don't know. No, and I could feel something fishy was going on because this guy was not very good at it. If it had been a wallet full of money, I might have been more inclined, like, oh, let's split the money. But this seemed like a hassle, and it seemed fishy. He had it sort of too well planned out, I think. You know, like I said, if it was a wallet full of money, like a proper wallet drop, I might have gone for it. But in this case, I didn't. I was like, no. And then he's like, where are you from? Now he turned from con artist to kind of mugger guy. He's, where are you from? I said, I'm from Canada. He's like, Canada give me money. I'm like, what? He's like, Canada gives me money. I'm like, Canada's not giving you any money, man. And he puts a ring in his pocket. He's like, I think Canada gives me money. And now I'm freaking out, but he's a lot smaller than me. So I just two-hand shove him right over here. Boom. He goes flying back, which I wasn't expecting. Just bounce, and then he bounces back up. As soon as he bounces back up, I was like, well, fuck this. And I just start running like so fast. And apparently I can run faster scared than he could angry. So I outran him. But I mean, he chased me for a couple blocks. I felt like it was like born supremacy. We're just running through buildings in Paris. It was a really cool first day in old Paris, France. But I didn't fall for it. But I didn't fall for it because I'm smart. I fell for it because he obviously wasn't good at it. And this con seemed like too much of a hassle. Like I said, if you made it easier with cash, I probably would have fell for it, just being honest. Okay, I got a couple more for you. The next one you're gonna recognize. So this is the fake workman con, or scam. So basically it involves dressing up like a repairman or something, you know? Like, you know, you've seen this in a bunch of movies, right? A lot of times it's not used as a con to steal things. It's used by the renegade cops who want to get in and look at something without a warrant or whatever. I don't know. You've seen it in movies all the time. But as a con, it actually works really well because it's pretty easy to gain access to someone's house if you're dressed convincingly. If you have like a van with like electrical company decals on the side, and you have the overalls with a name tag, and you got an official looking badge, which, I mean, Photoshop and printer, laminate it, and who you got nothing to compare the real badge to the fake badge. No one knows. You go, oh wow, okay, just bombard them with clipboards and badges and the van outside. Oh, hi, I'm from the electrical company. We're here to check blah, blah, blah. Figure out your jargon. Complications with the blah, blah, blah. Pick some jargon. They blabbered at you. Of course you let them in. It looks the part. What are you going to do, right? People just go, oh, okay, come on in. And now, this is where the con gets kind of genius because they will literally send people out into their front yard and they're like, okay, this is your fuse box in here? Perfect. Can you go out in the front and I'm gonna start flicking fuses and let me know when you see the outside lights go on and off, okay? I wanna know which fuse that is, so holler at me when you see those lights go off. And they'll go, oh, okay. Now you got the owner of the house standing in their own front yard, watching, waiting for these lights to go off, and you've left a stranger alone in your house, and maybe they got a toolkit with them, right? What a great way to smuggle something out. Jewelry, cash, little thing, anything they can stuff in that bag, boom, 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 boom. So this person doesn't have long, but they got a few minutes before you're gonna be like, what's taking so long? Now they're back, they flip the switches, they come back out, like, nope, your panel looks like it's in good repair, everything's good, jargon, 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 thank you very much, see you later, I'll carry on to your neighbor's house, bye, whatever. And again, if it's a good con artist, I mean, they're gonna steamroll you with this. The more legit it looks, the more confident they are about it, it all seems plausible. The more technical jargon they know and the more convincing they make the problem sound, I mean, this is why these cons work. It is crazy. Now, like, if you're like me, you don't own a house, you live in an apartment, probably not too likely. Normally any repairs coming here come through the management, they send me an email, and it's a lot more steps. So, I mean, I don't think if you're living in an apartment, you're too vulnerable to the fake workman scam. So that brings us to our final con of this video. Before we get to the last one, I want to say that if you like cons, you probably like heists. I have a podcast called Original Heists, and I'd love for you to check out season 1. It's all up on wherever you listen to your podcasts right now. There are 9 episodes, some that you might know, like D.B. Cooper, and some that you've never heard of, like the guy that stole a $30 million watch out of a museum, and they are all under 15 minutes, so you can binge the whole season if you want. It's really great. I think you'll really enjoy it. Original Heists, please check it out. Now, for the final one, it is called A Pig in a Poke. What a weird name. Pig in a Poke. It's a terrible name. Pig in a poke. Well, what is a poke? A poke is like an old way of saying sack, okay? A bag, a sack. Pig in a sack is what they really mean to say. But pig in a poke, I guess it's got a little alliteration to it, a little. Basically, a guy's selling pigs, okay? Not unusual, I guess, at some time in some place. He's selling pigs, and he's got a pig displayed here, right? Or there, or whatever they put the pigs. And, you know, maybe it's like a baby pig, like a suckling. I don't know what they call baby pigs. So he's got a pig, and you say, I'll buy that pig. And he says, great. And he goes back, and he reaches behind the counter, and he grabs a cat, not a pig, because cats are way cheaper than pigs. He takes a cat and stuffs a cat in the bag, ties it up, hands you the bag, and, I mean, the size and the weight is right. It seems like that's probably a pig, but it's not. It's a cat. Right? He's just taking your money for an expensive pig and giving you a cheap cat that he found on the side of the road or whatever. So basically you walk off without checking what you bought. Okay, that's the con. That's basically the thing. And again, the more casually the con artist is doing it, the easier this is going to be, right? He's showing you his beautiful pigs, whatever, this and that. Oh, you're going to buy one, great, take it, I'll get the money, thank you, grab it, throw it in the thing. You have no reason to suspect that he would have put a cat in that bag. I mean, it all checks out. You're seeing pigs, right? He hands you something, you're talking about pigs, the weather today, how you doing, nice haircut, I like your tie, whatever, and he hands you the bag. Why would you immediately, it feels rude to immediately inspect it. It feels rude. It just feels rude. Like, why would you, like, you don't trust this guy? Right? And that's what they're playing on. You don't trust him? What the heck? These things always rely on us, the marks, being good people. So you take your pig in a poke and you walk off, and the idea is you're not going to look at it till you get home, or till you're well and truly far away when this guy can peace out and get lost. And that is where the saying, let the cat out of the bag, came from. If you've ever heard the saying, oh, the cat's out of the bag, or he let the cat out of the bag, that's what that means. All right? So if something goes wrong here where the guy does check, or maybe when you're handing it off, you drop it, or they see you put the cat in or whatever, well, the cat's out of the bag, the jig is up, everyone knows that this is a scam now, and you've been caught. And it is from a short con that you just learned about right now. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I love talking about cons. I am definitely going to do another video on these. And I'd love to hear in the comments of any more neat things that I might have missed in some of these, or further explanation or whatever. We can definitely talk about it in the comments, because there's lots of nuances to a lot of these, and I would just love to hear from you guys. And I can't wait. The next one I have a whole bunch more cons set up, and some of them are a little bit longer and a little bit more elaborate, but also a few just simple, beautiful, crisp and clean, kind of wild, actually, the world of cons. So enjoy, and don't forget to check out Original Heists. See you guys next time. Thank you.